Okay, so here we go. Screws in. Let's see what we got here. Oh my. Wow. Well, I was definitely wrong about the board. There's a motor. Wow. I mean, wow. There's a lot going on in here. You know, this thing was probably like $7 or $8, something like that. There's a lot going on in here. That's really surprising. Let's see what we got here. Let's just get rid of this faceplate. There's the on-off switch. Pretty much standard, no big deal. I'm a little confused as to why they've got all these different wires going in. This doesn't look like a 3-stage switch. Huh. What else do we got here? Gears galore. Look at that. Just an immense amount of gearing. And that's really all it comes down to. I mean, this is old school paint by numbers. What the hell is going on in here? We got some resistors and capacitors. Oh, I see. Okay. Ah, that explains why all the wires. Okay, that makes sense now. So we've got power coming into these things now. Depending on how well you're doing as far as your scoring, these things, these little resistors, are hooked up in sync with or in line with some of these wires. And it seems to me that depending on how good of a score you do, there's a certain amount of voltage that's going to come from these connectors, which connect up to the main, you know, where you do your pushing the buttons and the flipper things come out and all that kind of stuff. Boy, I wish I could figure out where the heck that part is. I'll bet you that's pretty interesting too. At any rate, so yeah, you got these different little connections and stuff, and they'll send voltage spikes through here, and then what'll happen is the motor will then go either faster or slower depending on what kind of signal gets caught in here. I'm assuming the capacitor is just for smoothing out the spikes in some fashion or another, depending on which side it comes in on. But yeah, that's an interesting little setup. I wonder if I could maybe take this part to bits a little bit and see if I can get down in there a little further. There's springs in here, so I know something's going to jump out at me eventually. Let's see here. Maybe this one. This one. Yeah, just the whole thing comes out. Good. Alright, let's snip these wires here. Alright, so there's the meat. Little screw fell out there. Gosh, springs everywhere. This must be the reset. Yep, this is the reset. Puts everything back to zero. You know, you get your high score going up there and all that kind of stuff, and then you push this little reset button. It brings everything back to zero again. So here's the motorb. And how is, okay, so it's a screw connection down here, linkage, and it just spins this wheel, and then this wheel spins that wheel, and that wheel spins that wheel, and depending on how good you do and all that kind of stuff, this wheel will spin fast, you know, at some point, and spin slow at other points, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm a little perplexed by the capacitors that are on here. There's no resistors. Unless they are in this thing. I don't think they are. There could be something in there. I don't know. Here, let's find out. we got an electrolytic, and then we've also got some ceramic capacitors. So I don't know why they're putting different ones in. I don't think my Fina is going to do the trick here. Let's see if I can grab some here. Get rid of this insulation. This insulation, as Big Clive would say, insulation. I love that. I said say insulation. So we'll get to some of this insulation. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! What is this? This is not what I. Excuse me. Was not what I was expecting. Wow, there's a coil in here. Now that's interesting. The coil works in concert with what? I mean, there's no transistors or anything. I don't see a reason to have a coil on here. Wow, I am really beside myself. I'm going to cut this off down here. Whoops. What in the world do you suppose they did that for? Excuse me. Because, yeah, it's definitely a coil. I just don't understand what the purpose of the coil is. That's just weird. I would not have expected something so, well, I didn't expect any of this crap, to be honest with you. I mean, this whole deal is really different. I mean, it's really elaborate considering what the cost was on this. I mean, I can't imagine that anybody would have made any money off of this. I don't know if there's something else in here, or if it's just a wire bundle, or maybe a small resistor or something. I feel something going on in there, but I can't get in it. Oh, it's just a connector. Yeah, it's just a solder blob connection. That's all that was in there. All right. Good enough. All right. So, that's pretty interesting. We've got a motor in here, and each one of them has this little winding. I mean, I've got to assume that it's for, you know, power spikes when they get, you know, a good score, something jumps the score up really, really high. The only other thing I can think of is that these capacitors are set up. Come on, get out of there. So that, you know, if you hit multiple targets on the pinball machine itself, that it will, you know, it'll send a whole bunch of different signals at the same time, or simultaneously too fast, really, for this motor to be able to compensate or be able to adapt to how fast, you know. So I could see these coil things having, you know, something to do with these capacitors, and that the voltage spikes will go up in there, but they don't get to the motor right away, so the motor doesn't respond right away, and therefore it can actually make the necessary changes to the score as they come through simultaneously, instead of everything at once and then the motor getting all jumbled up, because it's an electromagnetic motor, and if you get, you know, too much signal going in there, it's not it'll just screw up. It won't know what to do. You know, say, okay, go this way, and then all of a sudden, no, wait, go that way, and then all of a sudden, go this way, you know, and then go this way faster. And so it'll just be like, so you got to have this kind of stuff, I can see, to kind of help smooth that kind of stuff out, but yet still be able to respond to every single, you know, bumper that's hit that, you know, you score points with. So that would help explain things. Of course, I could just be talking out of my ass, because I have no clue for sure. But if you guys have any ideas, please, by all means, put it in the comments. I would love to hear some expertise on possibility as to why this, if I'm not right anyway, or tell me if I am. Geez, I'd love to hear that too. Be the first time for everything, you know. Anyway, so yeah, not much else going on here. You got your gears and stuff, and you know, doing your components and all that kind of stuff. As far as like the gears and the ratios and all that stuff, it's pretty intricate. It's pretty. I mean, it's not well designed, that's for sure, because they don't all the gears aren't meshing up properly teeth-wise. I can feel some slippage. There's definitely a bunch of play. You can see there's definitely a lot of play in this, so it's you know, it's cheap, there's no doubt about it, but gosh, man, there was a lot that went into just this part alone. So anyway, that's that. Say if you're bored with these videos, I would appreciate you liking, sharing, and subscribing, because I love to bore the shit out of everybody with my stuff. So it's just like a little hobby of mine. Just kidding. But seriously, I'd appreciate it, you know, getting that channel out there. So I'm just doing this for fun, you know, I'm not trying to make any money or anything, but, you know, I do like to see things be successful. So, yeah, otherwise, be safe out there, and thanks a bunch for watching.